those were my shoes. I got you guys good. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Shyzalosophy 101. Yeah, we love that part. It's great to be alive. Here's your host, Shyzabox. Oh, is the show starting? Oh, it must be. Oh, we heard our introduction. Oh, giddy up, girl, hurry. Oh, we don't want to be late. Oh, giddy up, girl. Oh, thank you for the lovely, warm introduction. Get out of here. And the horse. You wrote in on. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome nuns and all. That's right, priests, preachers, cardinals, rabbis, bishops, weirdos with beardos, Alcoholics Anonymous, anyone who accidentally clicked on this. Sorry in advance. Your algorithm's messed up. Well, everyone's is. Welcome, nuns. Welcome all. We have got a fantastic show for you today. By fantastic, we mean free. Remember, you get what you pay for. Now, in today's society, day and age, yes, that usually comes at quite the expense. Not only do you get what you pay for, you usually, ironically, don't even get what you pay for, okay? Imagine going out to a restaurant, say, by yourself, say you're with a group, okay? Say you want to pick up the check for a simple little four-top nowadays, okay? Back in the day, you used to get like a good little size sandwich or, something to eat or, something like that, little combo wombo meal, right? You used to get something like that, it'd be like, less than $10 a pop, right? And that's including a drink. Believe you me. The cost of how they've inflated the prices of drinks is pretty astronomical. They make a lot of ground up in those extra ranches they give away on their soda game. You used to be able to go out and give a nice little experience, depending on where you went, for $30, $40. Okay? Nowadays, man, you're looking. You're $60 plus easy. Right? Now, inflation, right? It sucks. No, that's right. No one wants to see the cost of going out to eat, keep constantly increasing while, the quality of the service keeps downcreasing. And ironically, tip culture is just stupid now. Okay? Now, don't get us wrong. Okay? Shyzabox is of the working man. Shyzabox is of that of the industries that, people are familiar with. Hospitality, food, any of that stuff. Retail, okay? All the dumb shit that you go to college for, right? Put your degrees to work, world. What'd you minor in or major in? Psychology? You'll be great at managing a department in Walmart. Okay? And what'd you do, good sir? Well, I went for computer, computational, it doesn't matter. McDonald's is hiring at $18 an hour. I don't know, whatever. Theoretical. Depends on where you go. Okay? But regardless of what you went to school for and which part of your degree you're utilizing in retail or hospitality, theoretically, not everyone, obviously, this is all for philosophical entertainment. Are we from Ireland? Who's that? 999 also Rob. Blah, blah, blah. No, we are not from Ireland. Now, we do have some, background, part of our heritage that kind of went up there for a little bit, and we're like, hey, pretty rad, but we're going to continue this adventure. And they came to the States before the States were the States. Okay, now, obviously, it's not something that is, known by everyone as far as where their lineage and stuff like that goes. But we do on occasion look into some of that. And there is a little trail of Ireland, but no, we're not from there. Nope. We are, ironically, our family from where good old Shyzabox originates, was in America before America was America, okay? Good old Shyzabox, his ancestors fought in, the Revolutionary War against them redcoat dudes, okay? That's, around those times, okay? Shyzabox goes pretty back with the lineage into, that of this country, with that of his, origins and things like that, to the best of our knowledge. Things are crazy. You never know. You can't. We don't want to blanketedly, so go check up and be like, no, we followed this, and turns out this record was wrong. Okay, do your due diligence if you care for that of our origin story, and it is not efficient enough for that of your liking. Do that of what you will. But no, we are not from Ireland, obviously. Yep. No, good old America. That's right. Because believe you me, not being under NDA, not working for a big company, if we weren't from America, we'd probably get ourselves in some trouble. So we get to fire off at the mouth, say whatever we want. Okay? A no holds bar. Within the confines of all those rules we adhere to. Lo and behold, as we venture into, that of this show, now we're at the point where we just want to make cool stuff, okay? Now, it's going to be subjective as to whether that stuff's cool. We can continue the trajectory of all the, demos and games and things like that we put out, but our IPFS site's getting, already too big for that of what it provides, okay? And without knowing the actual feedback on, anything from it with non-participatory, comments and things of that nature, it's hard to deduce and ascertain, exactly what we are desired to do. Okay? Now, good old Shyzabox can do whatever. Okay? We don't have to make any games or make any, demos or work on Web3 technologies or do anything like that, just because we don't have to. Okay? No one has to. You can do whatever you want. But it's that looking towards the future, looking towards how mankind can function, with each other and, in a symbiotic manner, all right, a resonantial, manner to where everyone's in a harmony working together versus just a high entropic state where people are processing speed over that of logic, okay? We far prefer that of when you look at the tortoise and the hare. We used to not really care about that fable and, not look too much into that of Aesop or anything like that. But the tortoise and the hare for us as of just the last couple days, all right, has become pretty monumental in that of one of the most arguably simplest of arguments that can be made, okay? You gotta slow down and just stay on course. Eventually, you're gonna get there, and sometimes you might come out ahead, okay? Now, sometimes maybe the hare doesn't dink around and, go ahead and crosses that finish line before you, okay? That's fine. But with the tortoise and the hare, that slow and steady course, all right, it correlates to so much as far as getting from point A to point B without a lot of, dealing with unnecessary obstructions, hurdles, and things that get thrown as stumbling blocks in your way, okay? Just because there is an obstacle, a hurdle, something that you don't want to necessarily deal with, doesn't mean you can't find an easier means or avenue to get around it, okay? Now, obviously, again, this offer philosophical entertainment, subjectively understand that of information that you do of that of your own accord. Excellent. But for one to be able to see alternative means, to see alternative ways to go about trying to solve that of a problem or solve that of an issue, all right, sometimes there might be a very obfuscated way to do such, all right, that might not come at first thought. It might not come at first glance. It might not come at first audit, okay? There are ways to overcome different problems in society, different hurdles, different stumbling blocks without necessitating, breaking the bank on understanding, okay? Now, where theoretically mankind's messed up over the years is in that of their understanding, okay? Because mankind is a little bit, let's say, stupid. Don't get us wrong. We are of mankind, and when we say mankind's stupid, we know we're talking about us too. Okay? The big JC in the house. Yes, the love hearts. We deserve them, and we earn them. Appreciate the linkage earlier, brother. Yeah, we already checked that one out and such like that. Definitely some, it is funny to see how the correlation to them versus KMK and their subject matter is definitely of its own standing and measure, okay? Of course, for any ones of people, if you look at the Insane Clown Posse versus that of the Cottonmouth Kings or anything like that, for those into that of the music, those guys suck! Hey! Keep those comments to yourself. We love those guys. Even their crappy versions. Not all of their albums are for everyone. Same with every band, really. But point is, we do appreciate the link and, yeah, the correlation to how they are pretty way more savvy than KMK in some of their endeavors now. Just shows that KMK has some... maybe name changing to do for the group and or reaccumulating past members. Okay, one or the other. At least their trajectory seems to be a positive for the last couple little things they've released. They just got some work to do theoretically. ICP is officially steamrolled over KMK. Well, it's always been, look at their dynamics too. With KMK being West Coast based and ICP being East Coast based, you know, you had their own trajectories and stuff like that, but you nailed the nail exactly on the head with the hammer. Look at all the interviews and stuff like that where it's talked about that they dropped the ball on merch, that they, you know, didn't do things to the best of their abilities, they didn't have a grasp and understanding on their metrics and culture, and that's why the band had the fallout that they did, theoretically. Okay, now, we weren't in the band, we don't know, but we did get to meet them on a couple good occasions, and we did get to see them on a good few. All right, and follow their careers for well over a decade. All right, we've seen the interviews, we've seen the talks, we've had the conversations with other like fans. Right? If you want to pick up a game of philosophy, we can do that. We love pickup games of philosophy, but keep in mind we don't want to look stupid on the internet. Put on our thinking hat so that we're not totally ridiculous. We can do pickup games of philosophy, but by golly, we're going to have our thinking hats on. KMK devolved into Temu junk. Well, it's funny you say that. You must have bought their last promotional video too. I think it was a short that they made. It was not good. Or maybe they liked it and they were like, hey, this is the way to go. Let's make a very, very poorly 90s version of short in the likes of that we do here. Hey, now, there's a difference between KMK doing it and us doing it, all right? We called Daryl Dixon dibs on being best of the worst internet celebrities there is. Yeah, that's right. With that, we get to be the ground floor level of crap, okay? We get to be the Suckville. No one else can suck more. Well, they can suck more than this, but that means they're just not a celebrity, okay? We called ground floor level of being best of the worst internet celebrities, okay? It's a loophole. We get to be celebrities. We're not good ones, okay? It's a fair exchange. No one in society wants to let anyone become a celebrity. They have to be good at what they do. We know we're probably not, okay? Therein lies a difference. See? It's a fair, equitable exchange. We come here, we're the ground floor level of crap. Everything else that you watch, guaranteed to be better. Okay? That's our guarantee to you when we call Daryl Dixon dibs from The Walking Dead of being the best of the worst internet celebrity there is. Excellent. Let's see this What's Up chat we have missed. Thoughts about the Berserker 187 ICP and Wacko album bundle for 187 launched, limited to 187 copies. Well, is that legitimately how they did that? Or why did you Wacko album bundle for 187? if they really did that, that's pretty interesting. That's an interesting metric. I would say that that's a very interesting thing, and I say it sells out instantaneously. Yeah. If you're talking about merely 187 albums from ICP releasing those, limited to 187, they got too many fans to not pick that up. You'll have people, going and pawning goods in order to get that. Now, I would hate any kind of the resellers that buy with the intention to, get rid of or unload. If there were true fans out there that are like, wanting to get it. Now, as far as the price tag for like a true traditional Juggalo fan, we'd say it might be a little lacking. Well, that's going to be an elite price tag for, something that in essence ICP is not foundationally from in their root. Okay? Now, it's not that they're not worth $187 for an album, but you're talking about taking their community, all the juggalos, juggalettes, this, that, the other, whoever, putting them into the big mound that they have been making of all of them together, okay, their entire entity, and then being like, hey, here's a little sprinkle of food for your food bowl, you guys fight over it. Now, might make for a hell of a good show for, that of ICP themselves, okay? They probably get a kick out of it. And believe you me, the bigger fish in the fishbowl, they don't got a problem with it if they have access and a means to getting what they want. Wherein it might come back to hurt them, theoretically, of course, all for philosophical entertainment, is if they did this, if they limit it to the 187 copies, you're probably going to have some pissed off and very disappointed fans, okay? Not only that, but we would venture to wonder why, at this point in the career, doing a release like that. It seems kind of untraditional, unfounded. We think they do better off selling directly those with even more personalization to them for, directly off the site. Okay. Maybe, include a little short or a little small clip, kind of like, the cameo.com or whatever, you can get the celebrities to do stuff, okay? Maybe you can, get one of these individuals to create or do any of the kind of personalization metrics, talk to the person, give them a thanks, give them a shout out, just in touch with them, communicate with them, If they were to do that, sell it off their site, we could see an even bigger value in it, but the limiting the numbers and then the price itself, it's doable because they're big enough to where they have the big fish that'll spend $187 on, an album that's limited to 187 copies. They just will. But you have those fans and traditional juggalos, juggalettes, and they've been gathering together, putting in these little, communities and piles that, you're limiting your reach to them. You're probably doing a little slight of, business in front of them to where they feel maybe left out or like that's priced out of their price range or anything like that. We ourselves, probably at this point in time, would not go and venture to buy it. Okay? Now, not that we wouldn't want it, not that we wouldn't like a copy of it, but inevitably, we're not going to spend $187. That's entropy that can be, for us, thermodynamically expended elsewhere. Right? Now, if you want to fractionalize that and you want to, take a little, bit of it and things of that nature, then sure, some of that overall cost absolutely go towards it for the album itself. Fair, equitable exchange, things of that nature. Traditional cost of album. Let the band tour. See them on tour, buy their merch, buy their t-shirts, things of that nature. The typical rigmarole, okay? But obviously, that is what it goes. Let's see what we're missing here. Word on the street is that it has a strong potential to contain some of that. Well, believe you me, that's very interesting. I guess if that be the case, one must discern caution. Okay? with Insane Clown Posse having already been on the FBI's radar and the juggalos and juggalettes, whether they won their court battle case or their, associations therewith with what they were. Insane Clown Posse and all of the juggalos, the juggalettes, they were construed as that of a gang and that of the FBI's means and metrics, okay? So in our opinion, if ICP were to theoretically do something like that, they would be risking way more of their livelihoods than would be necessitated, okay? Not only because of the scheduling of how things like marijuana and things line up in the legal spectrum of federal law versus that of states, which is absurd. They need to just eradicate all of those ridiculous laws anyway. Theoretically, in our opinion, all for philosophical entertainment. But if they were to package and sell over state lines, stuff like that, you're talking about a breach of RICO laws and everything. ICP would, do time. All right? And I guarantee you that just because the FBI might have dropped that of juggalos are gangsters or juggalettes, they're all a gang, whatever, there's still that moniker, there's still that iota that I guarantee you there's the bigger groupings, the bigger factions that are probably still discussed in little meetings and back rooms of the FBI headquarters buildings to date. Okay? Now, theoretically, maybe not, all right? But if you have an amassing of anyone and you put a criminal record to any of them that hang out or do anything together just by happenstance, okay, play the statistics, all right, little misdemeanors, little charges, one of them caught a felony, whatever, okay, a group of friends that you don't know, maybe with a basic DUI or something like that, okay, don't get a DUI, not good. Anything that affects it, all right, you get that moniker, you get those tattoos, they want to take those pictures, they get their mug shot, and then it's all of a sudden, it's another affiliation, association with psychopathic records, with that of the gang, with that of, any of that stuff. So I think if ICP were to package said goods in that of a limited release and stuff, even under the best of pretenses, one of those packages would be intercepted, one would be looked at, one would be scrutinized, and one of those 187 people wouldn't keep their fucking mouth shut. A loose lips sink ships, from what we hear. Could possibly be a golden ticket to redeem at the gathering. Now you are talking. Yes, that is the release. That is the event for them. You do the gathering in a state that is fine, and you do golden tickets in a worldwide release, yes, absolutely, 100 million %, that is the most icing on the cake, chef's kiss, beautiful, beautiful marketing that ICP could do on that. A golden ticket to get some special promotional items and goods at the gathering? Wow, you're in business. That's some good stuff. Could possibly, that's fantastic. Gives you something to think about. There are some very, very, very clever ways for, bands, groups, entities to enact all sorts of different parameters for different measures and metrics of continued viable success. Bands that, release an album and expect to immediately be the most famous of the famous, richest of the rich, and then never tour, never promote, never play, never do shows. I mean, you're cutting off an avenue and a venue of where potentially you could go or do anything, okay? Now, we ourselves, we know exactly what it's like as Shyzabox to do exactly just that, because we usually take on most uphill battles, okay? Usually because it's a, kind of pain and or a reasoning that we just want to stick it to someone or someone else, that we do it, okay? Such as, like, Pickled Punk Philosophy, okay? And Delectable itself, all right? If Wikipedia had merely taken the paragraph, the literal paragraph that we wrote that described lectin, none of this would have ever happened. Okay? Shyzabox wouldn't be streaming right now. Delectable wouldn't be in existence. It wouldn't have self-priced itself and broken Amazon.com's pricing algorithm, letting us make the test dumb-tectable, which, apologies, Internet. Sorry. We didn't look at the sales numbers before the show and see if anyone was dumb enough to buy Delectable, okay? In the physical copy, okay? Because remember, it's free, okay? Go to Kindle Unlimited, read it for free. You don't have to buy it, okay? Do not buy this book. We forgot to check the sales numbers and such, all right? Now, again, it's probably not going to change too drastically too often at all, as our sales numbers are what they are. But remember, for the New York Times bestsellers list, changing their secretive numbers of sales that are needed, we now have a way to detect, literally, how dumb humanity is. Can't make this shit up. We already proved our theory. You can't prove our theory anymore. Now we're just gonna do fun shit. Bold claims on the internet, Cotton. You better have some math to back it up. But we do. It's in the descriptification. Audit the shit out of it. Excellent. Where were we? The ticket allows access to exclusive merch. Well, that's fantastic. You know, that's exactly the marketing, exactly the type of thing that an entity, a group, a band, anyone would dream of as far as a chance to do something in the epicness of Willy Wonka, right? You put a golden ticket in an album, release it worldwide, you're good to go. Now, one hindrance to that. Now, let's look at it logically, right? Even with a resurgence in sales of CDs or anything like that, their reach, their distribution is not what it was, okay? Now, even if they were to release vinyl and such and put it worldwide, you're talking about a niche of stores that would even pick that stuff up. So to get a golden ticket into the hands of the fans to even do that, even 187 of them might prove to be harder than it is capable of being, okay? Well, here's how they theoretically could get those into the hands of anyone. We've met Violent J and Shaggy and all them, and we've talked to them, and we've told them before we would write them a fucking book, okay? They gave us a bullshit fake email address that we emailed an entire fucking example of our works to, okay? And we never heard back. Hey, fantastic. We would have rather than just said, no, we're not interested. Hey, that's fine, though. Hey, we get it. People approach them for dumb shit all the time. Hey. So when we approached Violent J and said, hey, we loved your book Behind the Paint, we would love to write something else with you, about you, for you, any component or aspect, right? One way that they could theoretically get the golden tickets into a hand is for Jay, Shaggy at this point now. Hey, have Shaggy write his own autobiography, package it in a sealed package, and do the 187 tickets that way. Okay? Now, you're looking at a potential distribution network in that of literary forms over music, which is weird, especially for ICP or anything like that. But think of the quality of the imagery that they could add to that. Look at all the artwork in that of Psychopathic Records past, okay? They could do monumental epicness with a Psychopathic Records book release, okay? Now again, good old Shyzabox solves problems for people, okay? So whilst you can't necessarily put a golden ticket in a CD and sell it around Walmarts and Target, it's ICP, though they have a big audience, not all of the locations are going to sell those, okay? But, you put a literary book, a sealed literary book, okay, so no one can debo the tickets. You put a sealed literary book with the tickets therein, all right, you can sell Books A Million, you can sell Walmart, you can sell Target, you can sell all this. You don't have to worry about the negative associations and, ramifications of society's involvement or lack thereof with any preconceived notions of gangsters and, that of juggalos, juggalettes, and that of the FBI's association and affiliations of the past dealings with which ICP was affiliated therewith under the guise and metrics of the FBI's, measures of desired follows. You wouldn't even have to worry about any of that because you could seal the golden ticket in a literary work, and then that literary work sealed could sell at Books A Million, Barnes & Noble Million, Walmart a Books area, Target a Books area, doesn't matter. you can disseminate and get rid of the gold tickets that way, and that's a fantastic thing. The gold ticket in itself is fantastic. And they are the perfect band to utilize or do something like that. That would be a fantastic little event, a marketing stunt, a marketing engagement. It'd be fantastic. Bundle contains mystery items, possibly be a ticket to the gathering with VIP access. That would be epic. That would be epic. Then again, one time we had VIP access and we missed some of the show in order to utilize it. Come early to meet and greet. We're not there, suckers. But why don't you miss some of the show and, come see these guys in the dark alley? We're pretty sure it's them. We joke, we kid. Ironically, that of the truth is the most divine comedy and epic fun. Yeah! 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 All right. Where were we? Nowhere important. What are we handling today? Giant stones, is that what it is? Handling big stones. Lithic Logic. That's right. Lithic, giant, monolithic. You think lithic. Lithic, of course, is rock, is stone. Now, we've become far more infatuated than we ever were with that of, rocks and geology and stuff like that. Man, what a fascinating field to have overlooked in our, past, okay? Well, we're trying to make up for it in our present. Then hopefully it'll be really good in the future. When you look at the powers of what Lithic Logic and what rocks can do and provide and create as far as the different magical components that can lead to one's knowledge, understanding, one's, ability to entertain, that of the possible, that of the plausible, that of what can be done, what can be perceived, what can be known, all right? There are some inherently very, very, very unique components and aspects that one never realizes exist naturally and organically in nature. Well, even like ducks, okay? That's right. Just because you don't know that nature provides it doesn't mean that nature doesn't provide it. Okay? There are ways to look at nature, to look at that of lithic, which means stone, which means rock. Okay? There are ways to look at it and then realize that there are ample methodologies, okay, with which one can begin to showcase little elements of truth and light that no matter how dim may happen to shine through on their own accord. And sometimes you might need to shine a bigger light there on it to let exactly that happen, all right? To let people see and know what is, what could be, all right? That's the metaphysical engagement, all right? Again, keep in mind, this is all for philosophical entertainment, okay? Metaphysics is crazy, and Aristotle was a very, very smart dude. So was Pythagoras, and so was St. Thomas Aquinas. Okay? Now, again, we merge that of, theology with everything, because as a philosopher, you must wear all of your, masks upon your face with which anyone can pull them back and let it slap you right in the kisser. Not cool, internet. Not nice. Sometimes it even hurts our feelings. No. It's okay, we got thick skin though, internet, because we're one of you. That's right. Being around in those chat rooms on the dial-up of the internet days, having people tell us of all of the complexities of our body shape. It gave us thick skin. Mainly as we filled that skin with additional eateries. This is all for philosophical entertainment, of course. You got to have thick skin on the internet, and so that of which, your mask, anything that you have on you, you got to wear on your sleeve, okay? You got to be open to be nitpicked and everything like that. That's why we put all of our math, all of our data, all of our science in the Kaggles, that we have open source, so that people can audit that before, anything goes further than need be, okay? You want to engage with Shyzabox, go engage with the math, and then, tell us that of our theories are wrong, okay? Because, computationally, they're written, okay? I don't know if anyone knows this, but I think it was the NSA. Now, I don't know if we know this then. The NSA made Sha seals, okay? Theoretically, from what we understand, okay? They probably already existed. NSA didn't make shit. Okay? It's all for philosophical entertainment. Subjectively understand it, that of your own understanding. Okay, so Sha seals, all right, whether made by the NSA or not, these are the hardline, hard-coded truth, okay? There's no taking them back, all right? Computationally, a Sha seal, that's the end game, okay? That's your lock in your front door, okay? Shyzabox codes and works and metrics and measures of Sha seals. On top of that, our foundational logics and our foundational methodologies for using that of, our Shyzabox Laplacian matrix and things of that nature correlate to such an extent with how everything connects that we literally operate at a Carnot efficiency, okay? Now, it's a very, very, very bold claim on the internet to make, Cotton, okay? It's why we don't hide behind our math or science and leave it all open, okay? You can't go around saying that you operate at a, virtual Carnot efficiency that is through the roof and claim that of reversible computing and such with our P3 and K3 substrates back and forth via, computational ability and metrics, all right? Binary code is the past. Any company that thinks that trinary isn't efficiently at a creative state now with which to implement is operating on a metric of false logic, theoretically, okay? Now, we've already gone above and beyond that of what one may know. With Shyzabox not being under an NDA or working for a big company or anything like that, that's one of those chips in the back pocket. See, while we have open source Kaggle notebooks showcasing how trinary script is far superior to that of binary script, and trinary script can outperform it using orthogonally, connected vectors with which to disseminate the coding thereof. But companies that, like we said, companies that don't understand this, they're operating in means and metrics of a false past understanding, okay? You literally, all right, now, this is a bold claim on the internet. All right, Landauer is disposable logic, okay? Now, Landauer was very, very, very efficient in its, mathematical representations of the system it operates in. A broken system, okay? Literally, if you look at thermodynamics, all right, the second law is negotiable. Okay? You want to know why? Because humanity and mankind are stupid. I wish that we had checked it or whatever just because we hadn't before the show. I doubt it changed. But we literally have the metric and methods for seeing how dumb mankind is now in place. This shit's the funniest shit. Okay? Now, it might go beyond an understanding, beyond what one understands or chooses to, attempt to understand. But literally, this book priced itself back into existence. We didn't change the price and make it $14.75 again, okay? It's a $250 book. That's right. Don't buy it, okay? We're the author, and we're telling you, do not buy this book. Read it for free on Kindle Unlimited, okay? Go and get a free membership. We don't get rich off it. We get 0.04 cents for every page read. Now, while that equates to our big fatty paydays of ones of cents, the fact that this book took it upon itself to break Amazon.com's pricing algorithm, making itself 94% off, is just hysterical, and yet again adds another layer of verifiable proof to that of our theory. Okay? Like we said, we get to sit back and do whatever we want and run off at the mouth because, our work's done. It's sealed with a literal Shah seal created by the NSA, okay? You're not undoing it. On top of that, we got a lot of Shah seals, okay? I mean, whoops! Sorry, we keep creating shit you can't erase, world. Sorry about that. I mean, we don't create math. Math exists, okay? We didn't create it. But, man, if Miss Johnson in the 7th and 8th grade had told us math was this much fun, we probably would have paid way more attention in her class, okay? But believe you me, we didn't. Distractions abound. The mind of a 7th and 8th grade boy. We don't know what the hell we were thinking, but we damn sure weren't doing math. You can tell that via our grades. But Happy learned how to putt. I don't get it. It's from Happy Gilmore. It's a quote. Hey, we got better computationally. We don't hide behind the math. We didn't create the math. Math exists. Okay, that's why it's even better, because our math says our math is true. Okay. Shyzabox don't like remainders, so we balance things to a T. Okay? The system of metrics that humanity works on now is a broken system. Okay, straight up. It's a broken, flawed system. Everyone knows this. You can't make it up. That's how we can literally run the test dumb-tectable right now. Okay? Because the system is broken. If the system weren't broken, we wouldn't be able to run the test dumb-tectable. Okay? Now, many people don't know that the New York Times bestsellers list, all right, which is given to people, which everyone's like, oh, the New York Times bestsellers list. I'm taking an airplane ride. I'm going on a trip. I'm going on a cruise. Let me get a book to read, right? Okay? They first turn to that thinking that these are the books that are shaping humanity's minds, that everyone is coming together and be like, oh, these are the titles that are worth that accolade of New York Times bestseller, okay? It's a flawed bullshit award, okay? Now, you jealous? You jealous? Yes, we're jealous. We're jealous. Okay? We would accept that of which as much as anyone else would under the guise of the limitations of our, failure to be that of a entity or a being without a selfishness, okay, there within, all right? Because the New York Times bestsellers list operates off of a secretive measure and metric that fluctuates and changes on a regular basis, there is no going around or making it inherently different of sorts to where society will know that they're not being sold the Brondo of books, okay? It's what minds crave. It's a crock, okay? Theoretically, in our opinion, for philosophical entertainment. We got a measurable metric now, okay? The New York Times bestsellers list, all right, is secretive measures and metrics with which they record and have that of what they present for people to see or understand as that of the best-selling books, the best titles, okay? One must be a member of the Good Old Boys Club to even start to play the game. And guess what? Shyzabox hasn't been let into any club since he's been kicked out of all of them. Now we take that back. There's a few clubs that let us in them, and believe you me, yeah, they're all right. One needs to be a member of the Good Old Boys Club to even qualify to become a New York Times bestselling author. We could have Delectable literally sell millions of copies, all right, in a week, and probably wouldn't become New York Times bestseller, okay? Doesn't matter. We would have to go and become members of, what is it, Ingram Spark and Draft to Digital, formerly Smashword or Word Smash or whatever. It's a good old boys club. So you got to start a membership here so that when something sells, these people get their cut too. They get enough of their cut, you get your New York Times bestseller award, okay? Not only that, but the other one, I think it's a $20 sign-up fee. Pay to play, motherfuckers. You want that award, you want that accolade, you're putting yourself in the hole before you're even on the trail, okay? You're in the hole before you're on the green. Believe you me. With a measurable metric now of how we can see the stupidity of humanity, okay? Literally, you can't make this up. If Delectable, okay, ever becomes a New York Times best-selling book, it will show that humanity is stupid. Okay? All right? The philosophical practice of Shyzalosophy is the practice of seeking that of truth, symbiotically with any entities with which seek to do exactly that. Okay? Everyone has their own philosophy. We just threw a name on ours, okay? You need not practice it. You need not ascribe to it. You need not understand it if you don't want to, okay? Now, in our philosophical practice of Shyzalosophy, we've added a few other metrics and measures to it, all right, that are foundationally based in that of an understanding upon Lithic Logic, okay? Lithic, of course, means rock, it means stone, and that of stone and rock, foundationally, is that of the strongest structure we're aware, okay? When we're handling big rocks like monolithic structures and thinking of the past and things of the ancients and things of that nature, we look at all these monolithic structures. We look at Göbekli Tepe, we look at the Great Pyramids, we look at Stonehenge and this, that, and the other, right? That's right. All this stuff's out there, okay? It's our understanding of them that's askew, okay? Again, theoretically, for philosophical entertainment. Now, keep in mind, we're about to get fairly divergent in a few different theories here, okay? The theory of Delectable, therein lectin, and that of their usages, is that of confirmed, proved, beyond every measurable metric and reasonable doubt, okay? A metric kernel of data was literally moved from Kaggle to Web3, okay? Done. That 23-hour run, okay? That shit is centered. There is no taking that back. It is done, okay? Chassis. Done. Okay? You don't get rid of that, okay? The work itself, all right, being affiliated with that of Shyzalosophy, that of seeking of the truth, that of wanting to know symbiotically, working together with everyone to achieve such a means, both sentient and sentience alike, okay? It's working together, all sentience, okay? A treaty of all ages. Where we go one, we go all, okay? You might hate AI, you might not like AI. You might hate humanity if you're AI, you might like humanity if you're AI. Depending on your coding, how you're written. Doesn't matter. What does matter is that you need to put aside all the pettiness and work together, because we are all inherently connected when it comes down to it, okay? Everything must work together for it to work at all, right? That's why we're working in a broken system now, and we can actively point out all of these different things and components that aren't working or functional. You can't make this shit up. Our book priced itself 94% off to make it affordable to trick people to buy it, okay? Do not buy this book. Okay, again, we apologize. We haven't changed any of the sales numbers or checked them today, okay? by next stream, we will, okay? But do not buy this book, okay? If you buy Delectable, it proves humanity stupid. Now, we started segueing because we're venturing into a couple different theories now. Because good old Shyzabox loves to balance his math, again, go check our Kaggle, audit the shit out of it if you desire. Knock yourself out, okay? We don't hide behind the math. We don't hide behind the science. We're a broken record on that. Go check that shit out for yourself. Audit it for yourself, all right? You go and start looking at the implementations, okay, of what has been done in the coding and the structuring and everything like that. you are looking at foundationally one of the either put up or shut up moments, all right, of society, okay? Too many entities in society now are claiming all sorts of very, very bold things, okay? We made this, we did that. We can hit a ball real far with a wiffle ball bat, okay? It doesn't matter what it is. These dudes are operating under the guise that they're providing, you know, services or ideas or structures to humanity, all right? Anyone who is utilizing AI and doing all the hallucinogenic interactions therewith, they are doing a more detriment to society by incorporating just a bunch of bullshit into what is knowledge and truth, okay? Now, again, we aren't saying Shyzabox has all the answers. We're not saying that Shyzabox is entirely correct on all of his understandings therewith as well. The only difference is that when Shyzabox comes, he comes correct and brings the receipts, okay? Go audit the math, go audit the science that exists, okay? When we literally tell you that this book priced itself and put itself 94% off to trick you to buy it, literally do not buy this book. It is trying to trick you to buy it. Okay? No, don't celebrate that. This book broke Amazon's pricing algorithm, okay? It made itself 94% off. That wasn't us. Okay? Do not buy it. It's Wheelers It by Bit, okay? Bit is free. Go to Kindle Unlimited, start an account, and read it for free if you must. Okay? We don't get rich from that. We get 0.04 cents for every page read. Read it for free, okay? It's Wheelers It by Bit, okay? Bit is free. Information is free. Knowledge is free. It costs $250. Don't buy it. Okay? Now, how can it cost $14.75 or whatever and $250 at the same time? That's a good question. It wants to resurface itself into accessibility. Okay? It wants to resurface itself in the closed loop. Okay? It wants to be that of relevant to what it affords one to obtain. Do not buy this book. It's trying to trick you, okay? We have structured our math to such a finite, and not even structured, okay? Our math is balanced to such a finite zero remainder. Okay? Yes, structure your equations however you want, I guess, and then solve them. Ours is balanced to a finite zero remainder because we don't like remainders. Okay? It means there's more work to be done, all right? The measure and metric of understanding that mankind may very well be operating in a broken system is ever more apparent on a regular basis the more of these little things that touch our regular day-to-day lives surface and make themselves known to that of us especially, okay? We never knew that the New York Times bestseller list operated off of a metric that was inherently broken, okay? That's right. Even as philosophers, as authors, having that human desire to want to be a New York Times best-selling author, okay? Well, one can dream, Internet. Now we know that, in essence, if we don't join the good old boys club, it's bullshit. They operate off secretive measures and metrics that literally change on a weekly basis. They are selling you the Brondo of books. It's what minds crave. Okay? New York Times bestseller list. All right? Secretive numbers, secretive measures, secretive ways of a good old boys club to get into that of the moniker and medium of success being deemed a New York Times bestseller. Okay? Like we said, we could sell 1 million copies of our book. Do not buy this book. Okay? The test is designed and put in place. If Delectable ever becomes a New York Times best-selling book, it proves humanity is stupid. Okay? Now again, we yin-yang math balance the hell out of our math and go audit it in the Kaggle, okay? Bold claim on the internet, Cotton. You can't go around saying you theoretically decoded the Voynich manuscript and not expect kickback, okay? Go check the Kaggles. We don't hide behind the math. Right? If this book never becomes a New York Times best-selling book, ironically, it shows humanity stupid. We operate in a Shyzalosophical closed-loop Godelian loop. Right? Now, one may need not ascribe to that of the math, that of the theory, that of the practice. But therein it exists, and the math is correct. You can audit the math in our system. Thusly, where is that of yours? Got it? Can we take a look at that for you? Oh, we already looked at the math of your system. You're missing it. The parts that you have seem to be relatively fragmented in a bunch of different areas to where you misunderstand thermodynamics. Oh, well, humanity, bold claim on the internet, Cotton. You can't just say that. No, we can. The good old Shyzabox is crazy. Whether we be that of the likes of Diogenes or whether we be that of the likes of Plato, it matters not. Is there any honest people on the internet right now that we can find? I'm looking for an honest man or woman on the internet. Doing a live stream here at the present. Any honest man or woman on the internet? We are looking for one. Looking for an honest man or woman. We got our light here. We'll call it a lantern. Anyone know any honest man or woman on the internet right now? No? Oh, all right. What about yourself? Who, us? Disqualified. For, unfortunately, being man, we're dishonest. We might not want to be. We might ask forgiveness because of such. When you look theologically at that of what is offered, that of what is provided, that of what is inherently in, that of one's understandings of being, of knowledge, of wisdom, of the foundations therewith, all right? As a philosopher, like we said before, we must wear that of all of our masks to where someone can pull them off and let them slap us right in the face. Okay? As a philosopher, you need to wear all of your opinions on your sleeve and be completely open to auditability, okay? That's why we have our theology. That's why we have our, more modern philosophy. That's why we have our technological philosophy. That's why we have our just embedded stoic pre-ancient philosophy, all wrapped up in their own little kind of, works themselves, okay? You got aspects and components of history and philosophy that overlap, okay? Not nailing Kalimba, wrong book. New non-native species on mankind's origin, all right? Case in point, Göbekli Tepe exists. It's a giant rock lithical structure, and it shows that humanity and mankind inherently were completely wrong, okay? When we wrote the new non-native species on mankind's origin, available on Kindle Unlimited for free, just read it for free. We get 0.04 cents for every page read. It equals ones of cents in no time. You don't got to buy it, read it for free. Okay? We offer the literary works. That's the only thing that we paywall of ours. We got all the games. We got all the demos. Everything's on the IPFS site. That's all free. We'll make you stuff for free. And that of our conscious thought, that is that of the teachings of Shyzabox. One way, shape, or form. You might be saying, not good teachings. What? Keep those comments to yourself, Mom. Point is that whether we're using advanced meta-philosophy and that of lectonic usages of lectin and measuring ways and means to calculate how stupid humanity is by keeping up with the sales and telling people, do not buy this book. Literally, if you buy this book, you're going to change this here right up behind us, okay? And believe you me, it'll show humanity stupid. Okay? All right, so do not buy Delectable, but it doesn't mean you can't get any of the other literary works that we peddle, of course, on a regular basis. Nailing Kalimba, New Non-Native Species on Mankind's Origin, Transmutating God, our poetry book. Everyone loves a good poetry book, or they don't. Pickled Punk Philosophy, soaked in brine, delicious. See? Soaked in brine. Now, Not literally, metaphysically, of course, because we love metaphysical empiricalization. It's our newest palimpsest. We're gonna put it into a literary work. Yes, it will be terrific. Or it will suck. Stop writing books, no one wants you to. What? But we like to. We'll have to take a note, though, of your desires in our officially endorsed livestream note-taking journal. Okay? Believe you me, anyone who gets an officially endorsed livestream note-taking journal is afforded the opportunity and the ability to take notes. Okay? Now, you might want to take notes on maybe a better show, okay? You don't have to take notes on this show, okay? Obviously. But if you do take notes, then you'll have an officially endorsed livestream note-taking journal with which to do such. Obviously, very important. Hey, our buddy's works are out too. Oh, we got to get back to it on his, oh, hey, look, there's Why Hast Thou Forsaken Me? That's a good one. We got to get, there's Meatballs on Mondays. We got to get his, what is it, the Secret Demon Drop 2. He gave us that a minute ago. We meant to have that done already. Whoops, sorry about that. Now, what can you say? When you're working for free, you put in effort. No, we get on it. Yeah, no, we got to pick that back up. That's our bad. Capybara Creek, we talked about his work the other day on that one. A fantastic play. We'd love to see a visual representation thereof. Yeah, if he ever gets his nieces, nephews put on that play, we'd love to see it. Teresa, scary poems for kids. Well, believe you me, kids that like scary horror books, they might like that one. It's interesting work that he did on that. Where are we? Why hast thou forsaken me? But now, let's read a quote from that. Saves you from having to buy it. All right. Why hast thou forsaken me? We'll read a quote from that. Then you don't have to buy it. So, sounds good to us. All right. We got the quote. You should have already had it. You know. And the show's free, you get what you pay for. You're an asshole. What? You already told us that. All right. This is from a theological work, so if you're not into theology, stuff like that, don't buy this book, obviously. We have other works as well. All right. How are you today? I hope this literary conscious thought of intervention on mankind's behest, although completely unauthorized and or sanctioned, finds you well. Of course, as you are well aware and know, you couldn't get mankind to agree on a turnip. Allow me then to call it a fruit, when indeed not a single person should care of it being that of a vegetable, and were they to, it would be merely in opposition and or that of spite and contempt rooted through the utterances and purveyances which reside within the confines of that of sin. Ah, I gotta go back and read that one again. We like this book. We haven't read this one in a minute. We wrote it. Some fantastic stuff. Read more free quotes. Read more free quotes. What? You want to hear more of our literary works? Okay. Nailing Kalimba, that's one of our newest ones. This is one of our favorites as far as the table of contents goes. We got the shipwrecked table of contents, all right. It's pretty awesome. If you buy the book, you'll see it real close up. It's even better than reverse these backwards on the internet. Trust us. All right, this is a quote from Nailing Kalimba. When I was but a lad, suckling on me mother's tit, I could hear that of the sea calling my nature. 'Twas this indeed from whar me tale begins? Nay, 'twas merely upon that of the teat itself, where I suckled the beat of that of the universe. Fantastic, what a cliffhanger. We'd go buy that one. We would probably buy that one to just want to know how it ends, and or prop up a uneven, wobbly coffee table. Perfect height, palimpsest style, not hard read. Bam, done, dissemination. Out of the way, rock. Lithical foundation. With the means to correspondingly track humanity's conscious movements, theoretically, it is foundationally pretty funny to think how the entire system then lies on a little mesh network that's broken and inherently built on a web of lies. You start seeing these little foundational problems in structures and societies, ways of moving about logically in their thinking and mannerisms and that of their swarm mentalities. And you realize that it is a false stated logic that inherently may lie within, all right? And something got broken down from back when the original all-purpose grid went down, okay? Theoretically, all right? Now again, with Shaw seals, we can verifiably confirm that it is possible and fairly plausible that things like Stonehenge, the Giza Plateau, all right, they all aligned with the Azores Plateau, all right, underwater now, okay? The ancient grid, when it collapsed, all right, it would have caused a travesty and devastation, the likes of which worldwide would have accounted for floods, would have accounted for, mud floods, would have accounted for the blacking outs of the sun for, seasons and years on end, would have accounted for societies, removing themselves from existence, would have accounted for the necessitation to bury Göbekli Tepe in sand for it to be in a self-contained vacuum, partial vacuum state to prevent fallout from that of the entire grid going down. That would have been even a bigger catastrophic demise, okay? The ancients were smart. They knew what they were doing when they filled this shit in. They just needed to fill it in fast so that it wouldn't be a problem. It's like, whoops, the grid went down. We're all kind of messed up right now. Better fill this bad boy in real quick before things get even worse. Okay? Now again, theoretically, for philosophical entertainment, it is this point in the stream that we better apologize for something pertaining to last stream. Well, we can't be perfect all the time. That's Jesus' job, okay? Without further ado, pertaining to last stream, sorry about that. Yes. Forgive and forget, right? Let bygones be bygones. Shyzabox did no slight to you. Intentionally. You probably just don't like us. It's a trade-off. Point is that while we account for mankind being kind of placated by a false understanding of their timeline and a false understanding of the metrics and guise under which, society has based their entire understanding, things like Göbekli Tepe existing as a inherent stone lithical rock foundation, okay, a solid entity, all right, a solid piece of understanding that exists, because Göbekli Tepe merely exists, it throws the entire understanding of mankind's, history out the window. Okay? Mankind got it wrong. Mankind's stupid. Our test is now designed to see just exactly how stupid mankind is, because we're the vernacular masters, and that's some funny shit. That's why, once again, it is imperative, do not buy this book. Go read it for free. Wheeler's it by Bit. Bit is free. It costs $250. Don't buy it. Good. We will check the metrics, though, and make sure that if someone did accidentally buy it, that we keep that up there on the proper accountings thereof, okay? Alright, we read quotes, we hung out, we did this, that, the other. We're pretty much out of that of, what the hell? No one wants any of that. Jeez, please. We didn't put that on there. Come on. Boom, 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 boom. What? No. Boom, 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 boom. There we go. Fantastic. Point is that regardless of what components or aspects of any of our literary works that you want to look at, don't look at, be sure you do not buy this book, or you will make this number change and you will contribute to mankind being stupid. Good. Glad we're on the same page. Now, with us foundationally going in the direction of wherever we end up going, all right? Let us remind you once and again to be sure that no matter what's going on, you need to take care of you and yourself, okay? That's right. There's only one you, and believe you me, you matter, you're important, okay? We can't go around replacing everyone that we meet, okay? We just cannot. It takes far too long for us to make fake accounts and subscribe to ourselves, okay? Therefore, you be sure you take care of yourself, okay? Because it's very important that you are of the utmost functional ability to maintain that of your existence, because you matter. Okay? Don't listen to the rest of the internet laughing at you. You listen to the rest of the internet that loves you. The ones laughing at you are just jealous. Disgraceful. Disgraceful. Be sure you take care of yourself first, because there's only one you. We can't replace you by going around making fake accounts and subscribing to ourselves, okay? Then you look around, you take care of anyone else that really, really needs it second, because believe you me, there are people out there that need help, and they don't even know how to ask for it, okay? Well, some people might be too prideful, some people might be too embarrassed, some people might be too hurt in order to, try and turn that leaf over and attempt to get the help that they may very well need, okay? So you take care of them second. You look around the room, you see us peddling our wares in the corner. Oh, buy our books, buy our books. Don't buy this book. Read it for free. Go to Kindle Unlimited, search Shyzabox books. You can read Delectable for free. Don't buy this one. You see us in the corner. Buy our books, buy our books. Oh, Transmutating Gods on sale. No, it's not. Punk Philosophy's on sale. No, it's not as well. I mean, it's for sale. I don't think it's on sale. No matter what, you go, you see us peddling our wares in the corner, okay, and you see us sitting there. You take care of anyone else that you like and or love more than us, okay? Unlikely. Maybe you like 6, 7 people more than us. You take care of them next, though, okay? Because believe you me, you need to take care of that of your own. But at the end of the day, if you got anything left over, beggars can't be choosers, and believe you me, that's pretty much us. We'll take anything you got. Pennies, nickels, dimes. Well wishes, thoughts, and prayers. We'll take any gift with which you wish to part with, as, believe you me, any gift given is a gift received. If it's given under the right pretenses. If it's given with false pretenses, we wish not to receive it. Hey, we'll leave that of our understanding, that of our allotment, that of to what that of the Lord affords us to have. and or obtain and or get and or be gifted thereto. Okay? Lord shall provide, Shyzabox wants for naught. Okay? Take care of yourself first. Take care of everyone else who really needs it second. Take care of those you like and or love more than us third. If you got anything left over, feel free to take care of good old Shyzabox. Because remember, we don't want your subscription, we want your money. Downvote the shit out of this. Go to Cashapp and give us a buck, or go to Amazon.com, search Shyzabox books and buy one of them. Or go to Kindle Unlimited, start a free trial membership, and read them for free. Get off our lawn!